everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. In this video, we're going to learn how to create Google Calendar event from Microsoft Excel. So I am an owner of a business and I create the record of all the events or the meetings that I'm going to take in my organization in my Microsoft Excel. So my objective is that whenever I'm going to add the data of any new event or the meeting that I'm going to take in my Microsoft Excel, automatically with the help of the details, an event should be created in my Google Calendar as well. For that, what we are going to do is we're going to simply create an automation between Microsoft Excel and Google Calendar with the help of Pabbly Connect. So if you want to learn how to do this amazing automation, then let me take you all to my screen. In this video, we're going to learn how to create Google Calendar events from Microsoft Excel. So I'm an owner of a business and I want that whenever I'm going to add the details of any events that is going to take place in my organization in my Microsoft Excel worksheet, automatically with the help of the details in my worksheet, I want to create an event in my Google Calendar. For that, what we are going to do is we're going to simply create an automation between Microsoft Excel and Google Calendar with the help of Pabbly Connect. So on the screen, you can see the website of Pabbly Connect, that is pabbly.com/connect. After browsing this website, we need to sign in to our Pabbly Connect account. But if you're a new user, you can sign up for free and get 100 free tasks every month. As I'm an existing user, I'm going to sign in to my Pabbly Connect account. After signing in, you can see the All Pabbly Apps window in front of you, in which you can see the 5 applications of Pabbly, from which we are going to select Pabbly Connect by clicking on Access Now. Then on a new tab, Pabbly Connect's dashboard is going to appear. In order to start an automation process in Pabbly Connect, we need to create a workflow. For that, click on this top right corner button right over here that says Create Workflow. Then a dialog box is going to appear which is asking for a workflow name. So I'm going to give a name to my workflow as Create Google Calendar Event from Microsoft Excel. So this is the name that I want to give to my workflow, okay? Next over here, it is asking for us to select a folder. So on the left side of my screen, you can see I've created multiple folders in my Pabbly Connect account, from which I'm going to select a specific folder in which I want to save this workflow in. For that, click on this drop down arrow and these are the folders from which I'm going to select Google Calendar's automations as the folder I want to save this workflow in. After giving a name to a workflow and selecting the folder, let's click on Create in order to create a workflow. A workflow is created in the name of Create Google Calendar Event from Microsoft Excel, and there are 2 windows in front of you. One over here says Trigger, other says Action. Trigger and Action are the 2 most important steps of our automation process because our process depends on these 2 concepts. Over here, Trigger says when this happens and Action says do this. That means our action is a response towards our trigger. In an automation process, there can be only one trigger step but multiple action steps. Firstly, what we're going to do is we're going to set up our trigger step. For that, click on this arrow right over here and it is asking for us to choose our trigger application. Our trigger application is going to be Microsoft Excel. As our objective is that whenever we are going to add the data of the event in our worksheet, automatically Pabbly Connect should capture the response. And for the trigger event, we are going to select it as new row in worksheet, okay? After selecting the trigger application and the event, let's click on Connect in order to connect Microsoft Excel to Pabbly Connect. A window is going to appear on which click on Add New Connection, but if you want, you can select the existing connection. After that, click on Connect with Microsoft Excel. Then a new window is going to appear which is asking for permission. I'm going to click on Accept as the save process in my data is perfectly saved with Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to click on Accept right over here. As you can see that we successfully authorized Microsoft Excel to Pabbly Connect. So I've created a worksheet in the name of event details right away, and I want that whenever I'm going to enter the details of the event in this worksheet right over here, automatically Pabbly Connect should capture the response, okay? So firstly, it is over here, it is asking for the workbook. So for the workbook, I'm going to select it as Events Details Google Calendar. So this is my workbook right over here, okay? And for the worksheet, we are going to select it as Sheet 1 because I've created a single sheet over here in the name of Sheet 1. So for the worksheet, I'm going to select it as Sheet 1, okay? After selecting the workbook and the worksheet, before clicking on Save and Send Test Request, I'm going to enter the details of an event in this worksheet right over here. And then after that, I'm going to click on Save and Send Test Request because as soon as I'm going to click on Save and Send Test Request, the last event that is added in this worksheet is going to be captured in the response, okay? So I'm going to enter the details of an event in this worksheet right over here. As you can see that I've entered the details of an event in this workbook right over here, for the date being 11th of June 2024, for the event name being important meeting, for the event description as to align on the company's strategic initiatives for the next fiscal year, focusing on growth opportunities, resource allocation and key performance indicators. So this is the description of the meeting, and for the start timing, it is written over here as 11th of June 2024, that is 11 01/06/2024 and the time being 10:30. Okay, so this is the start timing of the meeting right over here. So as I have entered the details right over here, after that I'm going to click on save and send test request. As soon as you go to click on save and send test request over here, response is received, and in the response we have received the data that we have entered in our spreadsheet right over here. Okay, for the event name as important meeting, for the description of the event, the description that we have entered in our Microsoft Excel workbook, and for the date and the time of the event, the starting time and the date as 11th of June 2024, that is 10:30. So this means that we successfully connected Microsoft Excel to Pabbly Connect and a trigger setup is done. If you are not getting the response immediately after entering the new event details in your Microsoft Excel workbook, then do not worry, as Microsoft Excel is a polling based application, and you can see over here it says 8 hours. As I've already told you that Microsoft Excel is a polling based application, that means in every 8 hours, whenever a new data is going to be captured by Microsoft Excel, it is going to send the new data to Pabbly Connect. Okay, so do not worry if you're not going to get the response immediately in your Microsoft Excel. Okay, and if you want to make any changes in this polling duration right over here, then you can contact us on Pabbly forum. Okay, so as we have now set up our trigger step and we have received the response of the data that we have entered in our Microsoft Excel worksheet, now we want to create an event in our Google Calendar. Now after setting up our trigger step, we need to set up our action step, and for the action application we are going to select it as Google Calendar. So we are going to select our action application as Google Calendar. And for the action event, we are going to select it as create an event, as we want to create an event with the help of the details that we have entered in our Microsoft Excel worksheet. Okay, after selecting the action application and the event, let's click on connect in order to connect Google Calendar to Pabbly Connect. A new window is going to appear on which click on add new connection, but if you want, you can select the existing connection. After that, over here it says sign in with Google. We are going to click on it. As soon as you go to do that, a new window is going to appear which is asking for a permission. I'm going to click on allow, as a safe process my data is perfectly safe with Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to click on allow right over here. As you can see that we successfully authorized Google Calendar to Pabbly Connect. After authorizing, over here it is asking for us to select a calendar. So I've created calendar in the name of events right over here, and I want that whenever I add the details of any event in my Microsoft Excel worksheet, automatically an event should be created in this calendar name events right over here. So the calendar over here, I'm going to select it as events. Okay, over here it is asking for the title of the event that we are creating. For the title of the event, what we are going to do is we are going to map the data. Mapping means inserting data from the previous step. So we are going to insert the data from the previous step of our workflow. And how we're going to do that? As soon as you're going to click on this field over here, it says Microsoft Excel new row in worksheet, and this was the previous step of this workflow right over here. If I'm going to click on this arrow, this was the same response that was captured in our previous step. As you want the title, the name of our event, we're going to map the data of the title of our event, that is right over here. As I've selected the data, what happens is the data is mapped, and as I map the data, what happens is that the data is now become dynamic. That means whenever a new response is going to be captured in our previous step, automatically in place of this map data, the new data is going to be updated. Okay, next over here it is asking for the description, so I'm going to map the data of the description of our event. For the location, I don't require the field, so I'm going to skip the part. If you want, you can enter the location according to your requirement. Okay, over here it is asking for the start date and time, and over here in the help desk it says that we need to enter the date time value in the UTC time zone format, but as in the previous response we have received the value in the simple format right over here. So what we are going to do is we are going to change the format of the date response that we have received in our previous step. And how we're going to do that? With the help of date and time formatter by Pabbly. So I'm going to select my action application as date/time formatter by Pabbly, and for the action event I'm going to select it as format date with time zone, and then I'm going to click on connect in order to connect date time formatter to Pabbly. After that, firstly over here it is asking for the date of which we want to change the format of. For the date over here, we're going to map the data of the response that we have received with the date in our previous step. So this is the response date that we want to change the format of. This is the starting event date right over here with the time. Okay, for the from format, as we have received the date format in a DDMMYYY and the time, that is HSMMSS. So this is the format of the date. So for the from format over here, I'm going to select it as DDMMYYY HHSSMM. So this is the format. I'm going to select this format right over here. And for the to format over here, what we're going to select is we're going to select it as UTC time zone format, as we want the response in UTC time zone format. Then for the from time zone over here, we're going to select it as Asia Kolkata, as we have selected the time over here as Asia Kolkata. So I'm going to select this time zone. And for the to time zone over here, I'm going to select it as Asia Kolkata. Okay, so I'm going to select this. So after filling all the details, I'm going to click on save and send test request. As you're going to do that, over here you're going to receive a response, and in the response you're going to receive the starting date of the event in a UTC time zone format. Okay, Now we're going to map the data of the start date in this field right over here that we have received in a UTC time zone format. So I'm going to map the data of the result that we have received in a previous step for the start date time right over here in a UTC time zone format. Next over here it is asking for the end date time, for the end date time of the event. For the end date time I want to add 2 hours to the start date time as my event is for 2 hours. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 hours to this date right over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to add in the action step in this workflow by clicking on this plus button right over here. And for the action application we're going to select it as date/time formatter by Pabbly, and for the action event as add subtract time, as we want to add 2 hours to the time. Okay, then we're going to click on connect. Next over here it is asking for us to enter the date in which we want to add or subtract the time. For the date over here I'm going to map the date of the response that we have received in a previous step. As this is start date and time right away, I want to add date and time to this date right away. Okay, next it over here it is asking for the expression, the amount of time that we want to add or subtract to the date. Okay, and for the example over here you can see, you can find the examples how you have to enter the time. I want to add 2 hours to my time right over here, so I'm going to write it as plus 2 hours to the expression. For the to format over here, as we want to receive the data in a UTC time zone format, so for the to format I'm going to select the UTC time zone format. And for the from format, as we have entered the data in a UTC time zone format, so for the from format over here I'm going to enter the UTC time zone format, and then after that I'm going to click on save and send test request. As I've done that over here, you can see we have received the result, and this is the end time and date of the meeting. So what we are going to do is we are going to enter this result over here in the end date and time. So I'm going to mention it right over here. So this is the end date and time. I'm going to map the data. Okay, after that over here it is asking for the time zones. For the time zone over here we are going to select it as Asia Kolkata. So we're going to select our time zone as Asia Kolkata. Okay, next it is asking for the visibility. I'm going to select it as public over here. Next it is asking for the guest and the other field. It is not require field, so I'm going to skip the part, but if you require these fields you can enter the data according to your requirement. Okay, after filling all the details I'm going to click on save and send test request. As I've clicked on save and send test request, over here we have received the response, and the response that we have received is a positive response. So now I'm going to open my Google Calendar and I'm going to check whether a new event is added to my Google Calendar or not. For that I'm going to open my Google Calendar. And yes, after refreshing the page, you can see over here a new event is added in our Google Calendars. If you're going to check the event, the name of the event is Important Meetings. For the time being 11th of June 2024, this is 11th of June. For the time as 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. For the description as to align on the company's strategic initiatives for the next fiscal year, focusing on growth opportunities, resource allocation and key performance indicators. So this is the event that is successfully created with the help of the details that we have entered in our Microsoft Excel worksheet. So this means that we successfully created an automation between Microsoft Excel and Google Calendar with the help of Pabbly Connect. So now to sum up till now what we have done. So my objective is that I am an owner of a business, and I wanted that whenever I'm going to enter any details of the events or meetings that I'm going to organize in my company, in my Microsoft Excel worksheet, that automatically with the help of the event details, an event should be created in my Google Calendar. For that what we have done is we have simply created an automation between Microsoft Excel and Google Calendar with the help of Pabbly Connect, and this is how we create this amazing automation. So if you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel, hit on the like button, comment down below if you have any questions or doubts, and please share this video. Not just with these applications, you can create automation with the help of Pabbly Connect between multiple applications. If you have any doubts, you can send us email on support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can ask your queries on forum.pabbly.com. If you have any queries regarding the pricing of Pabbly Connect, then you can check out this link. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel, hit on the like button, comment down below if you have any questions and doubts, and please share this video, and thank you for watching.